Hello, good morning, and welcome to today's presentation. My name is Nelson Wanjala, 2022 AE 15316 is my admission number. I'm from the Kenya School of TVET, Department of Agriculture and Environmental Studies. Today we shall discuss about tomato production. And before we begin our lesson today, allow me to introduce to you the learning objectives for this lesson. By the end of this lesson, the learner should be able to describe the facts about tomatoes. Number two, the learner should be able to state and describe the different tomato varieties. Learning outcome number three is to state the factors to consider in choosing a tomato variety. The next one is to discuss the tomato management practices. The final and the last one is that the learner should be able to state and describe the tomato pests and diseases. In our introduction, the tomato is a plant that is a member of a Solanaceae family. It is found in the same category as the Irish potato, the sweet potato, the chili, and the eggplant. It is one of the most produced and consumed vegetables in Kenya, whereby most of the household plant or produce and consume this vegetable called the tomato. This tomato is an important cash crop for smallholder farmers, mainly grown in open fields. But nowadays, because of technology advancement, tomato is being grown mostly in greenhouses. Tomato is rich in vitamin A, C, and lycopene. It is eaten fresh or added to salads, cooked as a vegetable, or processed into tomato paste, jam, sauce, pure, and juice. So those are the different forms in which the tomato is consumed by members of a household. The next slide here, we shall now discuss about the varieties of tomatoes, the different varieties of tomatoes that are grown in Kenya. The varieties are so many. I've just sampled a few of them for the gaze of academics. The first variety in this case is the Rio Grande. The Rio Grande is a fresh market and processing variety. The plant is slightly bushy and can be staked or left unstaked. Staking means supporting a plant with a piece of stick. Therefore, this Rio Grande can either be staked or left unstaked. It is tolerant to verticillium and fusarium wilt. These two are the types of diseases that affect tomato. So this Rio Grande variety of tomato is tolerant and resistant to verticillium and fusarium wilt. The maturity period of a Rio Grande is between 75 to 85 days after transplanting. It yields around 18,000 kilograms per acre of land. Variety number two is Asila F1. This one is the first generation of Asila as a variety of tomatoes. So it is early maturing 75 days after transplanting. It is tolerant to tomato yellow fever, yellow leaf curl virus, and nematodes. It produces fruits with attractive red color with an oval and heavy sweet fruits. It yields around 23,000 kilograms per hectare. It has a good keeping quality and transportability. The next slide shows us the third variety of tomatoes, whereby the Kilele F1, it is a medium early maturing variety. It is suitable for drier or humid areas. It is tolerant to tomato yellow leaf curl virus, tomato mosaic virus, verticillium, fusarium wilt, and nematodes. Its fruits are firm and elongated and has shelf-life of 21 days. This Kilele variety of tomato, uh, its maturity period is 75 days after transplanting. It yields between 30,000 and 35,000 kilograms per hectare. The fourth one is the Kaljay. The Kaljay variety is an open field variety. It is tolerant to verticillium and fusarium wilts. The plant produces red blocky shaped fruits. The fruits store and transport well. The maturity period is between 75 and 85 days after transplanting. It yields between 11,000 and 13,000 kilograms per hectare. The fifth variety of tomato is the Eden F1. It is a vigorous growing variety. It is tolerant to Alternaria canker, verticillium wilt, fusarium wilt, nematodes, and bacterial speck. The maturity period is 25 days after transplanting. It yields between 40,000 and 50,000 kg per hectare. That is 9 to 10 kg per plant. Now, the sixth variety of tomatoes is the Rambo F1. It is a vigorous growing plant with the uniformity set and firm fruits. It is tolerant to bacterial wilt, bacterial spot, fusarium wilt, verticillium wilt, and the nematodes. It matures 75 days after transplanting. It is a good shelf life and transport quality. The seventh variety of tomato here is the Anna F1. The Anna F1 is a hybrid and indeterminate fresh market variety that produces blocky oval red fruits that have a long shelf life. It is intolerant to fusarium, verticillium wilt, and alternarium stem canker and nematodes. The maturity period is 75 days after transplanting. It yields 64,000 kgs per hectare. The next slide, we shall discuss about how the factors to consider in choosing a tomato variety. They include the growth habit. It is either bushy or a climbing variety. Disease resistance or tolerance indicates by initials after after the variety name. We have the fruit type, includes the shape, the color, and the size of the tomato. We have the hybrid or open field varieties. The next slide here, tomato management practices. What are the activities that a farmer needs to undertake in order to manage a tomato plant? Number one, watering. Water is an essential part of a living organism. Therefore, water is needed to grow what we call to increase the productivity of tomato as a plant. Managing of weeds is either done by uprooting, use of chemicals, weeding, by use of jembes and other tools that used in the farm. Top dressing, here we top dress with the CAN in order to make the stems more firm and also to increase the vegetative vigor of the leaves of a tomato plant. The next one is training and staking. Training and staking applies to what we call the climbing variety, whereby sticks are erected and tomatoes climb as they grow up. The next one is pruning. Pruning is the removal of unnecessary branches and twigs from a tree, and therefore this one enhances more fruiting within the plant. The last part of this presentation is the pests and the diseases. So in this case, we shall begin with the pests. The pests reduce the quality and the productivity of tomatoes, whereby the yields expected reduce in amount. Therefore, the pests include, we have the African bollworm, we have the red spider mites, we have the white fly, we have the root knot nematode, we have the thrips, and lastly, we have the tutor absoluta. Diseases include the damping off, we have the lead blight, we have the early blight, we have the bacterial wilt, we have the tomato mosaic virus, we have the blossom end rot, and lastly, we have the fusarium wilt. An assignment, uh, please go and expound, find out the causative agents of the diseases. We have how does it damage the plant, and how does it reduce the quality of a tomato plant. Thank you so much. Thank you for your time. May God bless you.